Yeah, good evening all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 20 years of experience. So which includes nearly 12 years of experience in this Hadoop Big Data, Hadoop Spark in this environment, right? So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
Visible, sir.
Fine. So, yeah. So this is the course, it is a package, right, which consists of multiple technologies. So I deal with the data engineering courses. So which includes Big Data Hadoop. So in this course, you'll be learning with Hadoop, PySpark, Python, right? You'll be getting Python knowledge on this core and advanced both because total coding, total implementation goes in Python, right? So you'll be getting both Python core and advanced knowledge like Linux, Power BI, right? MySQL database. Apart from this, even from the DURGASOFT, right, it has announced one more offer for you. So it is providing 2 months if those people who doesn't have knowledge on this Oracle, it is going to provide 2 months of training on this freely. Those who gets enrolled for this batch, 2 months of training on Oracle will be given freely for this batch. Okay. So these things I'll be dealing, but this 2 months of Oracle, it will separate, it will be dealt by other trainer. Okay. So here, if you see Hadoop and PySpark, especially PySpark, very high speed processing technology today. Very high speed processing technology it is used currently. It is a hot cake in the market. It has got high demand. So if you see the huge salary packages for it in the same way that we're expecting these technicals from your side, right? So in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about these things, right? As my major discussion in this course will be PySpark. So Hadoop and PySpark both commonly used, right? Both commonly used for storing and processing the data. So I'll be showing you different environments, how to write the code, how to run the code, right, in different environments, right? So how to run the code within this Linux, within this VMware. I'll just to provide you the image for it and how to install within the Windows environment, how to run within the Jupyter notebook and how to run within this Databricks notebooks, right? How to write the code and you can get the free account for this Databricks and run your code there within the Databricks, right? So everything I'll be briefing you. I will just about the software, everything I'll be demonstrating, I'll be providing. So in the Hadoop, right? Yes, you'll be discussed about the storage and processing components. In the Hadoop, right? We'll be discussing about the Hadoop and the storage and processing components. Especially Hadoop is meant for both storage and processing, right? So here, like it has got a Hadoop distributed file system. We have got a file system called Hadoop distributed file system. The kind of file system, right? As compared, as there are some drawbacks with the databases, as there are some drawbacks with the current databases, it is going with a Hadoop is going with a file system called Hadoop distributed file system. And apart from that, we are going to discuss some processing components like MapReduce. We are going to discuss some components like MapReduce, Apache Hive. MapReduce is a parallel processing. It is a well designed, right? It's a parallel processing component in this parallel processing component within this Hadoop, and we have got Apache Hive. Apache Hive. It is a kind of a data warehouse kind of environment, data warehouse kind of environment in this Hadoop framework. Here we use here we'll be dealing with HQL Hive query language, which is similar to SQL, right? It is 90% similar to SQL, but in the case of SQL, we cannot process this XML data, JSON data, URL weblog data. So these kind of things but using HQL, we are going to process all those semi-structured data, unstructured data, making the data structured and performing querying on that. Yes. For importing and exporting data, you need to get the data from the other sources, from the databases, right? We have got one more component I'm going to discuss, like a scoop. Scoop, the full form of it, SQL plus Hadoop. SQL plus Hadoop, the first two characters of this and last three characters of this. First two and last three forms a scoop, right? For import or export operations. For import or export operations. So that is a scoop. Apart from this, I also going to give you knowledge on this NoSQL database. NoSQL database, not only SQL. Today, if you see difference between SQL and NoSQL, the case of SQL database, in the case of SQL database, from the first record to last record, the same schema has to be maintained, same number of columns. But in the case of NoSQL, my first record with 3 columns, second record with 4, third record with 7, fourth record with 10. A record to record different number of fields, schema-less behavior. What is that? Schema-less behavior. Schema-less behavior, random access, right? So as part of this course, I'll be discussing NoSQL database like HBase. Especially, I'm going to discuss a NoSQL database like HBase. It's a Hadoop database, HBase, right? So one of the NoSQL database. Apart from this, I'm going to discuss about one more that's important component, which is mostly used in industry. Streaming, for streaming especially, right? Right. Kafka. So one of this important component, right, for this big data environment, Kafka, streaming, streaming data. Streaming data means data which keeps on incrementing, data which keeps on generating, the data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing. Such kind of data we call it as streaming data. That is handling the capturing that streaming data. We go for components like the Kafka. One more, right? Yarn, yet another resource negotiator. So it is where your even Spark is going to run on this Yarn cluster. Yet another resource negotiator. But in the initial versions of Hadoop, there were some drawbacks, but here the things, everything got rectified. Yes. So these are the things mostly means we have got many components in Hadoop. Actually, they got outdated, but the mostly used ones, these are HDFS, MapReduce, Hive, Scoop, NoSQL, HBase, Kafka. In this, you will be getting knowledge on one storage components, two processing components. One is for importer export, one NoSQL database, one streaming component, right? And one is this is a distributed cluster. This is for streaming component. This one NoSQL. These two are for processing. This is for storage. These two are for processing. This is for storage. This is for data warehouse kind of environment, right? Yes. The case of PySpark, very high speed processing. So in this PySpark, right? PySpark core programming. First thing like PySpark core programming, right? PySpark SQL, how to do this Spark to core programming, PySpark SQL, PySpark to streaming, PySpark streaming, PySpark core, PySpark SQL, PySpark streaming. So this is you'll be dealing with data frames. Mainly we'll be using data frames where we're going to make the data structured, and we create data frames. Data frames are structured like in the form of rows and columns. And data frames, many data frame functions are there. You do not write huge, we don't need to write huge codings. By using the data frame functions, we can perform that operations. for all types of operations we can perform. Many functions and build functions it is providing. So even if you see that course content also in brief in depth, I'll be discussing about this PySpark. Python core programming. So actually you should have command on this Python because total coding goes in Python, not only in data. See, in most of this data engineering or this data science or data analyst, Python is the language which is chosen, which is preferred. If you talk about this data engineering or data scientist or data analyst, for all this, Python is the prerequisites. If you talk about even for data science, right? Like Python is providing many modules for data science environment, for data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clustering, data recommendations, for pattern matching. For all this, Python is providing many modules for this data science like NumPy, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, CP, Scikit-learn, TensorFlow. In this way, many uh, modules provided by it, where Python has got thousands of modules. Python is supporting around 89,300 modules for every environment. So today Python is mostly used in implementing different high-end technologies. Even if you talk about Spark, PySpark, Python API to use Spark. PySpark is nothing but it's a Python API to use Spark. Python API to use Spark. Spark can be coded in multiple languages. If you see, Spark can be coded with Spark can be coded with Python, Scala. So if you say Scala is the default language of Spark, but in the initial days, Scala was used a lot for implementing Spark, but currently in the industry, Python is mostly chosen. Spark with Python implementation, we say like PySpark. Even you can use Java language, even like R language can be chosen. It has multi-language support. Has got a multi-language support, but in our course, right? So these are the two mostly used languages to implement Spark. But previously Scala was used a lot, but now Python is mostly used. So for that, you need to have knowledge on this Python also, right? So by the time you will be updating with Hadoop, by the time you will be updating with the Hadoop, right? So you'll be updated with Python parallelly. You will be updated with Python parallelly, right? Yes. Python Core Advanced. By the time Hadoop gets completed, right? So you'll be having at least Python 4 gets completed. Uh, by the time PySpark starts, right? You'll be having knowledge on this Python. So here, yes, in Python, you'll be getting knowledge on this both Python 4 and advanced. Yes. And this Linux, up to that, what extent you need to have the knowledge on this, because in the real time, even that it goes in Linux environment and Power BI, okay, and MySQL database. And still, if you want, because database, any technology requires database. Here we won't be using database, but we'll be pulling the data from the databases. See, Hadoop, how it is going to get the data? Scoop is there. Importing data from different sources, from different databases, it is going to pull the data, right? It's going to import or export data. Yes. Even like you will be getting 2 months of Oracle training free whenever you're going with these things. So this is what you'll be getting the total knowledge on this data and its big data. Hadoop, PySpark, Python, Linux, Power BI, and MySQL, right? Okay. So here, this is the weekend batch. This is a weekend batch for 2 hours, right? So it will be from 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday as of now, but later it will be 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, 5 hours will be getting per week. And here, 1 second, this Python Code Advanced, here, this whenever this Hadoop is going on in this weekend, why? Because these many technologies during the weekends, it takes a lot of duration. So this Python Code Advanced, either you should attend these things you need to attend from Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, right? Either there are batches like in 6 a.m. in the morning or night if you want evening batches 9 by it will be dealt by me only. Python also I'll only be discussing, right? Python in early morning like 6 a.m. or night 9 p.m. or any other batches of mine. There are multiple Python batches I'll be handling during this, right? Monday to Friday. So this also around 50 sessions I'll be providing on this Python because you need to have this command on this coding also, right? Yes. So this will be dealt in this Monday to Friday. This Hadoop and PySpark will be on the weekends only, Saturdays and Sundays, right? And this also Oracle, this will be dealt on Monday to Friday. It will be dealt by other trainer, right? So you can, based on your flexibility, feasibility, right? You can attend the batches on this weekdays. And this everything will be dealt in the weekends only, in the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays only, right? Yes. If you see the course content of this, right, in brief, in depth, what I'm going to discuss for these things, right? Yes. Big data Hadoop, right? Yes. What is big data? What is Hadoop? Need for Hadoop? Because previously we used to say we used to have technology like Informatica, but by the time Hadoop has come, right? So it was totally dealing with that, extracting data from different sources, loading and transforming it, right? It kind of ETL it can perform. Okay. So DBMS that is RDBMS comparison with Hadoop, advantage of Hadoop over this RDBMS. What is the drawbacks with the RDBMS? Why it is going with a special kind of file system, like Hadoop distributed file system, right? It is going with a kind of file system called. Yes, yes, Mayank, right? I'll just come back to your queries. Just 1 second. I'll come back to your general queries back. Yes, 1 second. So HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. We are going to use a kind of file system that we call as Hadoop distributed file system. In brief, I'll be discussing about this Hadoop distributed file system, the architecture of it, and what are the different components like the name node, data node, secondary name node, job tracker, task tracker. Okay. So here, metadata management, storage and processing, replications, configuration, custom replications, right? And even map reduce architecture, phases of map reduce, input split. Yes, these things. And scoop about this map reduce, data types in map reduce programming model, programming examples, right? Scoop, SQL plus Hadoop for import or export operations, importing from databases to this, importing databases to Hive, databases to HBase. So this is scoop is used for import or export operations, importing and exporting, right? Yes. Transformations, performing different types of, even while importing data, you can perform different types of transformations. Whenever you are getting the data from these other sources to the Hadoop environment, right? During this importing process, you can perform filtering, column filtering, rows filtering, merging, grouping, aggregating. So different types of transformations you can perform while importing operations, right? So yet another resource negotiator, right? Yarn architectural components, how this yarn processing is going to happen, step by step, how the request is going to be processed. NoSQL, NoSQL, right? It's not only SQL. It's not only SQL, right? NoSQL advantages. So what is the NoSQL advantages over SQL, right? What is the problem with our DBMS? Data scaling, types of NoSQLs. So we have got NoSQL, key value store, columnar store, document store, graph store. Four types of NoSQL databases: key value, columnar, document store, graph store. Introduction to this Cassandra. There is to MongoDB, right? And HBase in brief, I'm going to discuss about HBase in brief. There is Hadoop's database. What is HBase? HBase introduction, HBase use cases with column families, HBase architecture, HBase data modeling, HBase schema designing, HBase CRUD operators, Hive and HBase integrations. And one of the important component of Hive, important component of Hadoop, right? We have got Hive. Important component of Hadoop, we have got Hive. So in brief, I'll be discussing about Hive, Hive architecture, Hive metastore, Hive query language, differences between HQL and SQL, Hive built-in functions, loading data from local files to Hive, loading data from HDFS to Hive tables. Okay, inner tables, external tables, Hive working with unstructured data, Hive working with XML data, working with JSON data, working with URLs and weblog data, Hive union, joins, multi-tables, inserting into local files, into HDFS files, how UDF, user-defined functions, user-defined aggregated functions, user-defined tabular functions, partition, non-partition, dynamic partitions, performance tuning, bucketing in Hive, indexing in Hive, Hive examples, Hive and HBase integration, right? So this is, if you see, there are a lot of, if you get this knowledge on this Hive, just check with this. Just if you say Hive jobs, a lot of jobs for Hive. Even if you see, you just to get knowledge on this Hadoop Hive, you can see a lot of jobs for Hive. Check it. 13,941 Hive job vacancies. Hmm. So only if you just go with this only component, right? Even we have got a lot of jobs for this Hive. And coming to this major component of this PySpark. PySpark introduction, PySpark features, PySpark and Python Scala, like PySpark session, PySpark context, parallelizing, repartition, broadcast variables, accumulators, PySpark RTD computation, right? Operations on RTD, they are directed acyclic graph, RTD's actions and transformations, RTD computation steps in RTD. We say resilient distributed data sets, persistence, this persistence features, persistence options from memory only, memory underscore serialized only, disk underscore serialized, memory and disk only, right? It's PySpark core computing, right? PySpark core computing, fault tolerance model here, right? False tolerant model in Spark, right? Yes. Groupings and aggregations, single grouping, single aggregations, multi-grouping. Yes. Single grouping, multi-grouping and single aggregations, multi-grouping and multiple aggregations. Differences between this group by and reduce by key. Process of this group by and reduce by, which are mostly used. Various inbuilt transformations, inbuilt functions. So one by one, inbuilt transformations and actions, right? Sort by key, sort by value, union, distinct, inner joins, Cartesian, co-group. We don't need to write inbuilt functions are available for this. PySpark SQL data frame. PySpark SQL data frame, right? Yes, data frame API. And by creating a data frame, empty data frame, creating data frame from RTD, data frame to pandas, show, struct type and struct field, row class, column class, collect with column renamed, where and filter, drop and drop duplicates, order by and sort, group by, join, union and union all, union by name, UDF, map, flat map for each sample, fill nulls and fill pivot, partition by, array type, map type, PySpark SQL functions, aggregate functions, window function, data and timestamp functions, JSON functions, read and write JSON file, and PySpark built-in functions. When expr, lit, split, concat, substring, translate, overlay, two timestamp, two date and format, two diff, months between, explode, array contains, collect list, collect set, collect, create map, map keys, when many different inbuilt functions on the PySpark external sources, working with SQL statements, Spark and Hive integration, Spark and MySQL integration, working with CSV, working with JSON, transformations and actions on data frames, narrow and wide transformations, additions of new columns, dropping of columns, renaming columns, adding of new rows, dropping rows, handling nulls, joins, window functions, writing back to external sources, creating tables from data frames, deployment modes, local mode, cluster mode, PySpark applications, stages and tasks, and driver and executor, building Spark applications or pipelines, deploying Spark applications to cluster and tuning, performance tuning mechanism, PySpark streaming concepts, integration with Kafka, PySpark ML machine learning library, right? Yes. This is what related to PySpark in brief, and also like Python, so basic and advanced level, from basics to advanced level, right? So this both the core and advanced both will be discussed. Python basics, operations, operators in Python, IDEs, different types of IDEs, integrated development environment. In real time, we use for data engineering side, we use Jupyter Notebook, Spider, VS Code, PyCharm. This all these IDEs I'll be discussing, right? And flow control statements, looping statements, strings, collections, lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions, modules in Python, packages in Python, errors and exceptions, file handling, object-oriented and regular expressions, database connectivity, right? Data and time, right? Advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closers, and decorators, right? And create working with Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science, Pandas model in brief, NumPy model in brief, and Matplotlib for plotting visualizations, different types of graphs, normal graphs, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graphs, any types of this we can generate by using it. So even Python also in brief it will be discussed, and coming to this Power BI, right? Yes. Source connections, working with transformations, change data type, pivot table, reordering, removing columns, renaming tables, split columns, unpivoting the table, entering the data, formatting the dates, combining multiple tables, working with visualizations, area chart, bar chart, column chart, donut chart, pie chart, line chart, table, matrix, ribbon chart, scatter chart, map, tree map, waterfall chart, format all charts, right? Power BI filters, slicer, basic filters, advanced filters, top-end filters, filters on measures, Power BI calculated fields, calculated columns, measures, calculated tables, conditional columns, dashboards, registered to pro service, dashboard introduction, right? Publishing desktop reports, create workspace, create dashboards, dashboard functionalities, dashboard settings, pin or report to dashboard, deleting a dashboard, right? Share a dashboard, share a report, their workspace, right? And this DAX, aggregate functions, date functions, right? Math functions, string functions, interview questions, FAQs. Okay, fine. So these things, right? Yes. Along with this, you'll be getting this knowledge of Linux and SQL, etc. MySQL database. So in this is that in brief, in depth, you'll be getting the knowledge about all this, which will add more weightage to your resume by these technologies. And in that, PySpark is the main component I said. It is the main execution weapon that we are going to use in data engineering side. So if you see, a huge salary package also provided for this, especially knowledge on this Hadoop and PySpark. You can just check it in the Google PySpark jobs. You can see lakhs, thousands of jobs for this PySpark. And that too, if we compare the salary packages of this, especially this PySpark developers, right? As compared with that other technologies, it will be 1.5 times more than other technologies, right? At the same time, they'll be expecting the technicals from you. So at a step, so with the basic level to the advanced level, step by step, everything I'll be demonstrating, I'll be discussing, right? Yes, all the sessions will be interactive sessions. All the sessions will be interactive sessions. At any point during the session, you can ask. But as it's a data flow, so for every statement I'm typing, every time when I'm dealing with the practical part, you'll be responding, right? What will be the expected output? So here coming back to this training levels, right? So here, yes. Hmm. Offerings from my side. So each and every session video you are going to videos. So yes, you will be getting the session videos, right? Session videos. Even if you miss any session, right? Because of weekend batch, if you have got, if you miss any session or one or two sessions, right? Yeah, every session videos you'll be getting. Session videos you'll be getting, right? Yes. Each and every session is video recorded. You'll be getting the session videos of all this what I discussed, right? About with this soft copy of this notes, soft copy, clear soft copy of these notes. Assignments and tasks to work with. Assignments or tasks to work with, right? Yes. Hmm. A WhatsApp group will be created. A WhatsApp group will be created, right, for this. If got anything, right, it will be anything to update will be updated there. Means directly you can have direct interaction with me. If you get any error during this course, right, because it's the weekend batch, so you don't need to wait until the next weekend, right? If you get any doubt or any error or query, if you get no need to wait, take the snap of that and post it in the WhatsApp group. Anybody can answer. I'll be answering it, right? Right. Separate WhatsApp group, right? Resumes and interview questions for all this. Resumes and interview questions. So it's hands-on live interactive sessions. Even why I'm saying the word hands-on means even if you've got, you can do parallelly the practical parts, the installation spots, everything, right? You can do along with me parallelly, right? Hands-on live interactive sessions. All right, fine. So this is what session videos will be getting, soft copy of these notes, assignments and tasks, WhatsApp group, resume and interview questions, hands-on live interactive sessions. Okay. The okay, even today, like Python is the mostly used to programming, right? It's the number one ranked programming language. So in brief, you'll be getting knowledge on this programming. It's on Linux, the commands and the Power BI, like visualizations, creating dashboards, all this. Database knowledge you'll be getting, Linux knowledge, visualizations, programming knowledge, and this processing using PySpark. Along with this, I said I'll be providing knowledge on this streaming component like Kafka. So how PySpark and Kafka integration and the Kafka normally Kafka for streaming data. So it will be kept in the centralized way where we can be working with Kafka in the real time. Fine. Yes. So I'll be going tomorrow. I'll just to provide this introductory session on this. So as of now, if you got any queries related to this course, other things, you can just go with your queries, right? So just briefing about this course, right? So yes.
Sir, what are all the positions we can apply after this course?
Yes. What are the things? What are the things you can apply? Yes. See here, just like I said, right? Just now I said you got a lot of. So first thing is Hadoop Hive developer, just like we have got a lot of jobs on Hadoop Hive, I say Hadoop Hive developer, you can go. PySpark developer, you can go. Like even as you see, PySpark developer, Hadoop developer, PySpark developer, right? Hadoop and Spark developer, you can go, right? And even you'll be getting 50 sessions in brief on this Python, right? And Python developer, you can go. Or Power BI, you can go with this. So multiple technologies you are learning, but majorly like PySpark developer, where you will be getting huge packages for this PySpark. What I mean by having knowledge on this PySpark, and this is the hot cake technology in the market. If you talk about any data engineering course without PySpark, total PySpark is the main execution engine, right, in this data engineering courses. Right? Yes.
Sir, PySpark is used for data processing like ETL.
Yes. So processing data. So here, that too very high speed processing. PySpark has got very high speed processing technology, right? See, if we compare, so here, one second, I'll just give one example. Yahoo has conducted a test. Yahoo has conducted a test to check the speed of different things, right? It has taken a table of 100 TB. So it has taken a table of 100 TB, 100 TB, consisting of 1024 columns. It wants to test the speed of different things, right? It has taken it. Okay. The task is sorting based on, right? 16 columns, sorting based on 16 columns. So what is the time taken by the different things? What is the time taken, right? So for this sorting this data, that too with 16 columns, Oracle has taken Oracle has taken 3.5 days to process it. It has taken nearly 3.5 days. MySQL, it has taken nearly 6 days. Teradata, a specialized database. Teradata, a specialized database used for data warehouse. It has just taken 4.5 hours for processing it. Another specialized database called Netija. It is also used for data warehouse purpose. Specialized database has just taken 3 hours. Finally, if you talk this big data Hadoop, what I was saying, it has just taken 3.4 minutes, right? It has just taken 3.4 minutes. These have taken days of time. These have taken hours of time. Hadoop, 3.4 minutes. It has taken very less speed, right? See, as compared with other things, minutes of time. That is what Hadoop and PySpark, right, today used for processing huge data, not in GBs or in TBs, even petabytes of data in very quick time. But okay, but if you talk about that Spark, PySpark, right? Already Hadoop speed is fast. Already Hadoop speed is fast, but PySpark 100 times faster, 100 times faster. Then see the speed of PySpark. Observe the speed of PySpark, how much speed it will be, means as compared with this. Already it has taken very less time, but it is 100 times faster in the case of memory based, and 10 times faster the form of disk. In the case of disk processing is so very high speed you got for this. So Hadoop and PySpark both combinedly used together for the storage and processing, right?
So both are combined to use like Hadoop and PySpark combined to use this.
Yes, commonly used. Even if you go for the job profile, both they'll be asking, right? PySpark mainly required, but along with that, Hadoop some components like Scoop, Hive, this NoSQL, and these things are required, right? HDFS, Scoop. NoSQL, this kind of knowledge required, they'll be keeping a list, right? Both this Hadoop and PySpark. There are many other, there are many components of Hadoop. They got outdated. I'm not mentioning those things here, which got outdated. Only the thing which is running in the, this will be having discussion on the things which are running in the market currently. These are the things which are running, right? So both Hadoop and PySpark commonly used, but majority of that like PySpark, right? Yes. So the main core technology in this data engineering, PySpark.
Sir, how much experience we can show after completing the course?
A typical 4 plus 5 plus years of experience person, how much knowledge he is going to have, that much of knowledge you are going to see within this. Because we are spending a lot of time here around this course duration is around the 16 weekends we are spending, right, for this day. So it's not a, you'll be getting in depth. Even you can check this course content, right, in brief, in depth with many working examples. Okay.
So we will
So
fit for working after completing the course, right? In as a data engineer.
yes, yes, as a data engineer, you can just, because Hadoop and PySpark is the majority of that where we are going to use in the industry.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I want to learn only MySQL and Power BI. Is it possible or need to learn all these things?
MySQL and Power BI. So in this part of this, right? Okay. So MySQL and Power BI means, okay, it will be intimated to you whenever that Power BI is started. So whenever the Power BI batch is started, right? So people means the people from this, people who have got enrolled for this package will be attending, and people who wants only that Power BI also will be attending, right, for that. So whenever Power BI is started, right, it will be announced.
Sir, it'll start from Hadoop or
Yeah, it starts with Hadoop will be started. Parallelly, Python will be. I said just before, right? So here, Python will be from Monday to Friday, either early morning or 6 a.m. or 9 p.m. or any other batches of mine you can attend and check with the online team. Hadoop will be discussed in the weekends. When Hadoop is going, Python will be done. Once this Python core is completed right here, Hadoop gets completed in the weekend. PySpark and this advanced Python both goes parallel. Once that is done, Power BI will be started.
Sir, which
But
language is used in Hadoop?
see, there is no prerequisites here for this Hadoop learning, right? But
Okay.
for PySpark, you require Python is the prerequisites for it. Previously, okay, there were other things, right, but they got outdated. But now, no, nothing in Hadoop. Here we are using HQL, Hive Query Language. HDFS is a separate file system. For this, you require, but this MapReduce also, it got outdated. It is not used now. Previously, it was used a lot. When Spark came into the market, this MapReduce got outdated. Yes, remaining scope is for import and export operation. This is for NoSQL database. This for streaming. This for yet another resource. It's a kind of distributed cluster. It is for streaming. It is NoSQL database. This is for importing and exporting. And this for HDF. It's a file system. And this is for processing. And this is a data warehouse. It is HQL complement. Right. So nothing here for this thing. You require Python knowledge.
Okay, sir.
So by the time it is going to get started, you will be updated with that. Okay. So here data engineer, if you see even in the current job market, data in the top two high paying jobs. So both the data scientist and data engineering jobs, right? Both are the high paying jobs today. So with huge packages, right? Depending upon this company to company, depending upon your levels of, yes, the technical levels in your side, you can demand for that. As a data engineer, you can demand for these packages. Yes. So yes, sir. Tomorrow it's just an introductory session. Just I want to brief you about this course. So in the tomorrow session, just I'll be providing you this knowledge on this big data and why we are going for this Hadoop and Spark. More on the Any other queries, general queries related to the course?
Yeah, I have one question. Is it possible to specify like which course, like how many weekends or how many days, like it will be covered? Like if you'll go through Hadoop, like it is only weekend batch. So how many weekend that Hadoop one and how many weekend that PySpark one it will cover?
Yes, yes. In the tomorrow session, I'll brief you. So
Okay.
majority of the discussion will be on PySpark, I'll be saying. And as this is not weak Python, we doesn't have any weekend discussion for this. And even I said there is a Oracle, it is a free 2 months course it is provided for you people. This also will be on Monday to Friday. This also will be Monday to Friday. So the majority of discussion here will be the PySpark in this. Hadoop, this components will be discussed, but a majority of my nearly 60% of my 60 to 65% of this time will be utilized for PySpark discussion.
Okay, and we will be like getting any project work also like how this.
At the last, I'll be discussing one, right?
Sir, is it necessary to learn Oracle and MySQL, both database?
That is up to you. That is Oracle is provided freely for that. It's not, that is up to you. But the database knowledge is also essential to any technology, right? If you want to go, database is required.
Like I am having experience in SQL Server.
So it's not like that for this data engineering side. Okay, that is just up to you. If you have got time, you can update for that. I won't say it's compulsory. Here we won't use means we are going with the file systems. We have got frameworks, right? Yes. So here, so I was saying, right, the professionals see they are according to the pay scales, right? That the data engineers have got the highest average salary as close as to the data scientist, data engineer, data scientist. So the two high paying jobs today, right? It's previously, if you go back like 10, 15 years ago, they used to say like ETL developer, right? But today, like we are saying as data engineers. Okay, so how to run, I said how to run this PySpark code within this different environments, like within the Jupyter notebook, in this Databricks environment, how you can get Databricks free, how to get free Databricks edition, right? And the other things, how to run within the Linux environment, Windows environment, right? All this I'll be briefing. Fine. So in the tomorrow also, you can just attend this and to see more this from tomorrow. Just I'll be briefing you about the technical things. They just have us discussing about the course related things, right? What is going to be discussed. Tomorrow we'll have a technical aspects. Why we need to go for Hadoop, PySpark, and what. Just I was briefing you. Very high speed is proven in the market. Hadoop and Spark both are proven in the market with very high speed, right? 100 times faster, very high speed as compared with the other things. So Hadoop is a kind of revolution for distributed computing. See, Hadoop is a kind of revolution which has brought, right, for distributed computing. Means multiple systems running parallelly. The processing on a single data object. A single data object is processed by multiple systems parallelly, parallel processing, distributed computing, right? Yes. Yes, and the two in PySpark in-memory computation, everything storage and processing happening within the memory level. That's why very high speed you are going to see, right? Okay, fine. So tomorrow you can attend the session same time. So today is just an introductory session. Tomorrow we'll be having the technical, right? A technical demo you'll be seeing on this. So same time at 4:30 you can attend the session tomorrow with the same
Sir,
link.
one
Yes,
last question. Like,
yes, yes.
so what will be the decent package for PyShark developer for a 5 years experience?
So it's okay, it depends upon the company to company. But one thing for this, especially for data engineering, this PySpark kind of courses, you can demand for the packages. At the same time, the skills required based on the interview that you do, the level of the interview, how you have given the interview, and based upon the company, it is going to prefer. But you can demand for it. Even 1.5 times to 2 times That is, you can 100% hike you can ask for this.
Okay.
That much demand it has got. But the same thing, you are required the skills because there is a great demand for this PySpark developers today in the market. So even you can get double the hike, that much of hike you can ask for. It's a kind of course, and people feel that this is it looks very simple and easy if you understand everything, the functionalities, right? So it should be regular to the sessions. Even if you miss the session, you are supposed to just go to the videos and attend the session, right? It looks simple, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Even Python is not a very complex programming with very less coding and with different kinds of inbuilt modules, inbuilt functions can perform this processing, right? Yes.
Very much logic is required in data engineering, like in web development, or
See,
simply using function.
so it's not we are not developing any web applications here. Like writing huge codes like in using object-oriented program, we won't use those kind of things. So
Okay.
with many functions, inbuilt functionalities are available. Inbuilt functionalities are available, right? Even data frame functionalities are available. For streaming data stream functionalities available. Using that functions, inbuilt functions can perform it. If it is otherwise, you will be writing your custom related code for this. It looks simple and understandable only. So if it is Java is involved means you can see huge coding. Previously, in the initial like 15 years ago, for Java is used a lot for this Hadoop. But once as due to this huge codings of Java, people started migrating to other technology. But again, many other components of Hadoop were introduced, which attracted the developers, right? So they are removed totally. Now, Spark, that is Python, and Scala is the mostly used for this. Java also can be used, but none of the companies they're using. At least only one or two companies like Value Labs they are using like Spark with Java. No other companies are using. Okay, even these two are not preferred. These first two are preferred, and that too previously Scala was used because as a default language of Spark, but today totally implementation on this Python only. Right? Yes. Okay. So tomorrow you can join at the same time at 4:30 using the same link to see the discussions, right? Tomorrow we'll be discussing the things technically, right? Yes. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. This tomorrow also it's a demo session. I'll be discussing technically why with the necessity of Hadoop and PySpark. Both I'll be discussing on this Hadoop and PySpark importance right in the current market. Yes. Right. Thank you all for your time. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.